They want you to be creative, but they want you to post all the time, and they want you to follow what works. And so people can say they're just good businessmen. They found what works and they're just pushing it. Great. Good for you. It's not for me. And I know it's not for a lot of other people. If you are a highlight reel, you're not acting like a human being, I will not resonate with you. Period.
Today's guest makes music, lifts heavy, he's a father, and he calls out the noise polluting the fitness world. But in this conversation, we went deeper into the addiction of capturing every moment and why it's time to put your damn phone down and actually live in the moment. Please welcome to the show, Zack. Telander. Authenticity is the most attractive thing in someone.
It's the only thing I care about. I don't have any social relationship to you if I'm following you on Instagram, yet your authenticity draws me in to be like, we are friends. If I do that good enough and I don't actually mean the things I say, I can trick you. But at the same time, oh, that guy could be so good as long as he realized his potential. That's the dumbest thing you could say, because not realizing his potential is who he is. Do you know how much more attracted we are to flaw than we are to perfection? It's exponentially.
You said criticism isn't the problem. The awareness to criticism is.
What we have offered people is a constant stream of being able to give criticism with almost no recourse. That in the human world has never existed before. I think that when you look at the way Gen Z interacts with the world, it's very hesitant in real life. It's very scared because
everything is content. And if everything is content, then nothing is content.
Yes.
You said that. And what does that mean?
Experiences aren't special if all you're doing is looking for your phone to record. If all you're doing is looking for the next content opportunity, the experience is not going to be great. And so by virtue of that, like the other way works too. If everything's content, if you're documenting everything, the content that I see might not be special. You know, I feel like sometimes I'm recording things and I'm like, this is not special.
So you're only recording for the sake of recording and being able to potentially use it for some form of content online. Yeah.
But you remember the thing was like, document, don't create or something?
That create, was Gary, don't consume?
No, it was Gary Vee's thing. It was like document everything.
Right.
And I see what he's talking about to a certain extent. The problem is if you document, if you content everything, it pulls away from the value of that. This is like the harshest thing about being algorithmically driven is that you don't get this opportunity to share art somewhat sparsely. And the value, like, if I increase the supply, the demand is going to go down. And that's what I'm doing on Instagram. It's just like more supply, more supply, more supply. But that's what they want. They want more and more of the same thing, you know?
Yeah. And I guess the great thing about artistry is a lot of the best stuff is the raw one take stuff that came straight off the mind.
Yes.
And so when you're following algorithmic preferences and you're posting at the right time and you're doing all of this stuff, there's all these other considerations.
Yeah, nothing is content. Yes. That's what I'm getting at with that. It's like a what is it, the Ouroboros? I don't know, what the snake eating its own tail. It's like cannibalizing itself. It's like it's a symbol. And everything kind of leads to its own problem. Every process that you have in social media and all of this, they want you to be creative, but they want you to post all the time and they want you to follow what works. And so you put constraints on creativity. That's all.
Do you think though, it's allowing more people to be artists?
Sure. You know what's funny? I started editing and wanting to be creative when I was like 14. And at my high school, we had a really good program for kids who wanted to shoot video and edit video. And that's where I learned like most of my craft. And I remember one day I went home to my dad. I said, because they let us rent cameras. And it was a mini DV camera. So like the small cassette tapes. I don't know if you've ever seen those.
Yeah.
And it said it shot in 1080p, which is just high definition. I told my dad, I go, look, I can hold a camera and shoot in high definition. He goes, how are you going to be a creator? How are you going to separate yourself when now people can shoot in high definition? Like everyone can do it. The market's going to be saturated. like this, we all have 4K capability in something that is minuscule compared to what I had in high school. And I remember saying this, and I thought it was one of the wisest things I've ever said. I was like, yeah, that means a lot of people are going to be putting out bad stuff, and all I have to do is be slightly better than them.
Do you think, though, we were chatting about at the gym earlier, the thing around the more I know, the less I know, and how he was saying, like, the more I learn, the less I feel like I am educated, because we open all these other can of worms. It's like if we look back in the day when there wasn't the capability of a phone that we had in our pocket, we can pull out 4K. It's basically these devices and these different things that are making it more convenient and easier to produce something at a higher quality.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically opening another can of worms that we can then go, okay, now we can actually shoot quicker, edit in different ways. It's a whole just different world of videography, creativity in the aspect of video, if we're talking about video content, because the ease of being able to do it is there. It's kind of like a progression.
Yeah, if creative people can weaponize whatever it is, I'm for it. I think creativity is God. I think art is God. I think that's just how I am. That's how I'm wired. So if there's a point where creative people feel like they're stunted versus the people who are business-minded, I would love the scales to be tipped the other way. And immediately when I thought, okay, hearkening back to when I was in high school, my dad goes, everyone has a camera, everyone can shoot. And I go, well, yeah, but that just means the creative people are still going to rise because the playing field is now even again. It's like, it's not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's still even as long as there's like no system in place to stunt creativity.
Right. So I guess it's making it easier for business people to be creative or play in the creative realm.
Sure.
Technology is basically allowing more creatives to be a thing because it's easier.
Reduce friction for creative people to do creative things. That's like honest to God, that's what I stand for, period. And I'm in the fitness space, and that's why I go after some people and concepts and ideas, and I want people to examine what's actually happening in the fitness space, like what's actually productive speech or what is it a content funnel to get you to buy something that's actually not going to be effective. I would love to have people examine those things.
Why?
It's, I honestly, I'm interested in it. It's fucked up. Like people go, why do you care so much? It's like, I can't answer that. Why do I care so much? I love to, if I get a piece of hate, I love to examine it and talk about it. And people go, don't talk about it. Ignore it. It's just the haters. Ignore the haters. It's like, I would actually rather sit here and like psychologically try to understand the person that does that, because that helps me kind of like place it in my brain somewhere. And if I just ignore the haters, I become resentful of the haters. I like say, fuck that person. They're stupid. They don't know what they're talking about. And in this way, I can kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like if you go to the hospital, diagnose, I can like diagnose them, and I can maybe understand like a meta concept that is hurting me. I can diagnose myself. I can be like, this hurts me when I see a lot of people do this. And that this triage of like figuring out what makes me hurt is so much more cathartic than going, ignore the haters. And this frustrates a lot of people. This is like the antithesis of what you're going to hear on to a lot of creatives, right? Or a lot of people who are on this show, I would imagine.
You know what I think is fascinating is your disagreement to the haters comment or the person posting the content with the funnel or whatever is completely valid, and you're completely entitled to that opinion. What would be awesome and powerful would be if the opposing person came back and had a discussion about it.
Inherently, they won't, though. Yeah. That is the point of this.
Okay, so let's elaborate why they won't.
Because they're not a human being. They don't portray themselves as a human being. It's as simple as that. They're using social media to display this sales tactic, and any bit of personality in there is pure trickery. They completely have separated out, the concept of parasocial relationship?
No, I don't.
Okay, so that is just, I don't have any social relationship to you if I'm following you on Instagram. yet your authenticity draws me in to be like, we are friends. And to a certain extent, if I do that good enough and I don't actually mean the things I say, I can trick you. But at the same time, I really do like this idea that any one of my followers or anyone who comments, I could sit and have a beer with. I genuinely like that. And if somebody comes in and they're just like, fuck all these people, they're all dollar signs, and I'm going to do all of this, and they just ignore any parasocial thing. When you say, I'd love for you guys to have a conversation, I would too, but it's inherently not what that person does, if that makes sense.
I guess their social media channels they're just using it as a marketing tool. If we strip back before social media was a thing, big brands and advertisers would then go to billboards and go to the newsletter and go to the news channels, and they would use that as their form of marketing.
Yes.
They would exchange dollars for that placement, and then the big companies would then have that placement available to be able to sell, and then that advertisement money will fuel the shows that everyone's watching and the billboards that everyone's seeing. The progression has come into being social media, and then they're now using the algorithm as their marketing funnel, because, I was listening to an interesting podcast around how they were saying the follower is dying, and it's this interesting concept where most people are consuming the social media platforms not on their following pages, rather their discovery pages.
Yeah.
So the playing the game of the algorithm to discover people is the way to be discovered, because the followers aren't even watching their followers' content. And this is why you can have 300,000 followers and get 30,000 views on your video, because it's not getting pushed to the algorithm, which is where people are consuming. And so perhaps all the people that you're referring to, and I'm in that space probably too, we all are to some degree of, in terms of like trying to be seen on social media. It's like the marketing for the business, and then the business pays the money, which then allows us to do the marketing in the business full time in a sense.
What I see though is like this potential for the nastiness to rise to the top, because you're just simply playing the game. So this is like inherently what I don't like. I can't help myself. I don't like it. And I'm going to say I don't like it. I'm not going to sit back and be like, well, that's just the way the world is. I don't like this idea that, at all costs get a view, and authenticity only really matters if it's seen.
And authenticity is the most attractive thing in someone.
Period.
It's actually probably
it's the only thing I care about.
It's the only thing.
Yeah.
And
I care about individuals. I like looking at people's eyes and seeing something different.
And what's fascinating is a lot of the time, and I wrote about this the other day, about we may overextend in hopes of being seen, but by overextending, we're losing our authenticity, which may result in us being seen in the short term, but not liked in the long term.
Yeah.
Because people don't think we're real. And it's this weird thing of how can we just remain being authentic with everything that we're doing? And it may not result in being seen instantly, but we'll actually be able to be liked long term because we're being ourselves. People feel like we're being real.
Yeah. So sorry, you're saying like you have to overextend?
No, I'm saying that I think I've been caught in the trap of, it's not a question, it's just an open discussion. I've been caught in the trap of trying to kind of search for external validation.
Right.
So I'll like overextend on who I am. Maybe I'll be extra bubbly in person, or maybe I'll show up extra loud so I can be seen. But what that's doing is it's actually taking me away from my authentic self and who I am, which is the actual thing that people like.
Right. And well, what if doing that is an exercise? Like it's actually an exercise. So you went a little too far. Now you self-assess. Now you go back to being authentic. It's like playing, like we were talking earlier at the gym, like undulating your intensities of different characteristics of what you do. So like you can, I went a little bit too hard. I'm going to pull it back and I'm going to do what I like to do.
Yeah. Perhaps though, when we're talking about the charlatans and the people that we're referencing here in terms of using it solely as marketing and seeing dollar signs, and that's the only metric that they're kind of judging as success. Perhaps they overextend, make some noise, be seen, get addicted to the feeling of that. So then that's when it all becomes system orientated. It all becomes a business. It all becomes this operation, because it's like they first start, they get a little lick of the ice cream of what's possible in terms of maybe the business opportunity through the creative pursuit of posting content. So then they just get over obsessed to the point where it's just a full blown system.
I'll always come back to every bit of expression is creative expression. Like for me. So even though what these guys are doing, and if we want to talk about charlatans, I can do that all day. I feel like I'm a black belt in discussing charlatanism on the internet. What they're doing is essentially they're like, well, this isn't real. My social media is not real. So I can say whatever I want, make the dollar, use it as a business, and then I can live my life on the side. And more power to you if you can do that. However, I don't agree with it because, again, I believe that what you put out is it has to have some idea of creativity. And if it's creative, it has to be authentic. You see, like, you don't get to just be inauthentic on a platform that I think is creative, in my opinion. For other people, they can be like, I don't give a shit. This is a business platform. This is so I can do free advertising for whatever I'm selling you. Fine, go do that. But I have an issue with that, period. Like, that's just how I am. Like, and
if we take
I like
it
to
away
discuss
from
it.
If we take it away from social media, though,
sure,
isn't this what all the big companies are doing?
Yeah.
as well?
Yeah. And I'm allowed to be like, hey, that's kind of fucked too.
Yeah. And so, because I think it's powerful to treat social media to some degree as a business as well, because
definitely
broke influencer syndrome is a real thing. Like there's people that are spending all their time doing this thing in the hopes of achieving this thing that everyone praises, which is social status.
I am that guy.
But then
I'm not making money off of Instagram. I'm not. And I'm going harder on Instagram than I ever have before, because there's a chance that maybe somebody says, I resonate with what this guy has to say. I will give his music a listen.
Yeah.
And like, that's okay with me. And I am a broke influencer. I am. And so I'm not afraid to be like, hey, I don't like these things. Again, the argument against me is very clear. It's clear as day. I realize this. But I'm still going to, at a certain point, I want to decide the type of person I am and the things that I believe to a certain extent. I'm very nuanced. I'll play the middle a lot. But there's parts of me that as I've gotten into music, it's like, up until I had my kid, I would open my eyes in the morning. It was like, I'd be like, music. It's like, what am I going to do? How am I going to make this song? Like, I love it. Like, it's my lifeblood. It's like everything to me. It feels like I'm like a zealot, like a religious zealot when I think about music and the way that I talk about it. And so that's such a powerful feeling to me that when I see somebody who completely treats it the opposite, it's like, okay, well, I don't like that.
I've been using nose strips and mouth tape religiously for over 3 years now. And this may sound dramatic, but it has quite literally changed my life. I have a deviated septum, which means I can't really breathe out of my nose properly. And for a long time, I would wake up feeling extremely tired. My brain was foggy. I had zero energy. And come to find out, when you're snoring and breathing through your mouth all night, you're not truly allowing your body to rest. Your mouth isn't made for breathing. Your nose is. And we can go without food for weeks. We can go without water for weeks, but we can only go without breathing for minutes. I think it's important that we prioritize breathing correctly. I use Dream Recovery's mouth tape, and I also use their brand new Second Wind nasal strips. Every single day, I apply them just before bed, and this nasal strip stays on well throughout the day. The next day, it is 2 p.m. right now, and I am still wearing this thing from last night. Right now, if you go to the link in the description or the show notes below, or go to dreamrecovery.io and use code Griffin, you can get 15% off your entire order. That's dreamrecovery.io, or go to the link in the description or the show notes below and use code Griffin. That's GRIFFIN, and you'll get 15% off your entire order. Let's get breathing correctly, let's get sleeping better, and let's get right back to the show. The way someone might think and the way that you're perceiving how they might think are probably two different things as well. And the thing for me is I went on this bit of an interesting journey where I first started gaining some traction, and I would sell that $80 program, or lack thereof. I even struggled to sell the $80 program. And then I remember I went in this phase where I'm like, nah, like all the big famous people in the world, they don't really sell anything online, so I'm not going to do that anymore. If I want to be the biggest in the world, I'm not going to. So I remember I took all the programs out and I stopped doing any of that. And I was just like, I'm just going to focus on just giving as much value. And then I know if I can make someone, where it all changed for me was when someone like stopped me on the street and said that I like saved their life on multiple occasions. I remember it hit me more than anything else. And from that moment I went, I just need to keep making people feel like that. And if I make people feel like that, I'll make the money. And I remember doing that. And a few months went by, got so much traction, podcast blew up, and then I started making all this money. And it was this weird thing where I went, okay, I went away from that. But then what I thought was, okay, well, why am I shutting down this alternative of actually providing my value and education, the lessons that I'm learning to other people, so that then other people can hopefully make people feel that way and get the same feeling I get? Because the feeling of saving someone's life made me feel way better than any other shekel, any amount of money that I've ever made in my life. So I was like, let's focus on that and the money will come. So then I reintroduced more like education and helping other people. And the only thing is, and the way I view this is, the transaction of someone paying me in exchange for the education, the transaction is the commitment from both ends. And we're then exchanging that in terms of like, it's fair exchange, because I'm not looking at it as like, I'm taking this money from you. It's like, no, I've done this and you're inspired by that and you would love to do something similar. I can help fast track that for you. Do you want the outcome? This is the price. Yeah. And I kind of saw it as this way of, the transaction's actually just the commitment from both ends.
Yes. That's I used to coach online for years. And it wasn't that I grew out of it. I just wanted to try new things, do new things. Yeah. And then now music has taken over my life, you know.
I love that though as well. And I think it's the only reason I was sharing that perspective is because for me, I'm trying to remove myself from the money part. And I just look at money as like a stored time, this thing that
commitment.
Sorry?
It's a commitment. Like it represents, it's like a, yeah. So, but sorry to interrupt, but like the commitment exchange, it's very interpersonal. And the person that is using this, they're creating this persona online that you like don't really know much about, but it's attractive. And now you're doing that commitment to that thing that's not actually them.
Yeah.
Like Chris Griffin, like if I commit to you, I'm actually committing to you. Like
not just my highlight reel.
Exactly.
Yes. And that's the thing that I don't agree with this. The same as you, I'm the same. It's like,
precisely.
I don't want my Instagram page to be a highlight reel, because I think it's an unfair judgment of the life that I'm living.
It's not authentic.
And if you're buying into me because of the life that I'm living, but you're actually buying into my highlight reel, not my reality, that's unethical for me, because I'm selling you on a life that's actually a lie. It's not real. It's only a piece of it.
Man, I'm interested in sharing just like really just sides of me they're not nasty. They're just like, oh wow, like this is the grittiness of it, you know? And I'm considering doing stuff like that online because like I want to push that a little bit. See. Like there's this thing, I'll just say it here. I've never said this on any forum, but when I'm locking up at night to go to sleep, I have this thing where it's like, I'm always just rechecking the doors to see if I locked them. And like, I'll do it over and over and over again. And like, if my mind goes elsewhere while I'm doing it, I'll start at the beginning and I'll fucking lock all the doors again and again and again. And I realize there's something wrong with that. It's like a slight OCD thing. And I don't want to I don't want to diagnose myself. People with actual OCD, like it's horrifying of a disease. It's terrible. And I think about that and it hurts me that I do it, you know? But I recently had a kid and I started to tell myself, you have to be tough for her. Like you have to be tough for your kid. Be tough for your kid. You can't just be a scared child who's scared that you didn't lock the doors, you know? you can't have these obsessions with anxiety and all these things. You can't ruminate on these things because it's different now. You got to be a tough guy for her. And like, I've never in my whole life ever been like, oh shit, like, you know, I can't be a kid anymore. I just can't. And it's moments like that where it matters, not like, or moments like that are like untalked about. Super flawed what I do at night, every night, you know?
Has that been one of the main lessons you learned since being a father?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's all very recent, but it's like, I can liken that exact feeling to being when I've been broke relatively recently. I've been broke, not like really, really broke. It's just like, fuck, I got to pay rent and not going to have that much money this month and all of that. And it's funny how your habits really lock in when you're broke because your options are limited. So I'm not going to go, like, I remember I was vaping all the time. It's a terrible habit, but I was broke. So guess what I stopped doing? Vaping, because I couldn't buy one. I would rather buy groceries. And it was like, oh, that is me saying, be tough, you fucking, you know what I mean? I didn't have the option. The illusion of choice it was taken from me. And so now it's like, I don't have that option of being anxious and being this weird, like doing this weird OCD thing at night. You have a daughter now, dude. Like, grow up.
So tell me about the OCD piece. Has it gotten better since you've been a father, or are you still struggling?
Yeah, just because I tell myself, you just got to be tough. Like, you have to, there's certain things that like, you don't get the luxury of stressing out.
How long did that go for?
What, just being stressed out about?
Stressed out about like the locks. And because I've heard that story before. I believe someone shared it on, like a really famous person shared it on Diary of a CEO one time about how it was the same thing. The locking of the doors at night. It was like multiple checks time and time again.
Well, it feels good. That's why I do it. I'm anxious.
Why does it feel good?
Being anxious like almost feels good because it's like my process of like just hanging out in a certain space over and over again, checking the locks, making it happen, you know?
Do you think
like I can kind of flow in this anxiety space?
Do you think that's, you said earlier,
it's like avoidance of tough things, avoidance of hard things, I think.
Do you think that contributes to the lack of sleep? You said you struggle to sleep.
Probably. I've always had a tough time sleeping, even as a child.
Why so, do you think?
I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. I just, it's not something I could diagnose. It's like almost anytime I try to diagnose myself or understand my brain, I always feel like, oh, I'm going to have a big bias here because it's me.
Yeah, that makes sense. You obviously you've been doing music for quite a while, and some of the pieces you've been doing recently, you've been doing this like poetry, kind of writing these awesome messages. You did one that I absolutely love the other day. I'm gonna play it on the pod, and then we can unpack it. I just think there's something so cool about these. I mean, the running part is just it is what it is, but like the actual message is the thing that I love. But this one's called the Millennial. Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm tired of the upkeep. I'm so damn tired. And there's never enough sleep. What's my hook? Why should they care? I'll unlock my phone and I'll commence a 12-inch stare. I'm hungry. I'm hungry for more, so I'll do what they say. I'll push harder than before. It'll cause me stress, it'll cause me pain, but I'll create more and I'll become more vain. I'm a talented person, but I don't think anyone will notice. Content before craft, don't you know this? I'll delete all the apps. Yeah, that'll show them, and I'll work like a dog for an inflating token. I'll go to my job, I'll rent my place, I'll go to the gym, and I'll wash my face. I'll re-download the apps, I'll find a date, I'll count up my macros, and I'll finish my plate. I'll watch my show, then I'll scroll on my phone. Remember, it's my house, but it's never my home. I'll watch them yell, I'll watch them debate. Whose side are you on? Oh shit, it's getting late. So I'll set my alarm 5 hours from now, and when it rings, I'll give anything just to lay back down. But I'll get up quickly and I'll hop in the shower. I'll get rid of my debt in 10,000 more hours. I wish I did it differently. I wish my brain was rewired. But instead, all I'll say is, I'm tired.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote that at like 2 a.m.
Why?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of how when I write songs too. It's the same process of me writing a song. It's like part of it's anger, part of it is release, you know? But that, just something about being distinctly millennial and just like examining where we're at. Like this is a lot of the things that I talk about is just like, hey, look at where we're at. Are we okay with it? Are we cool with it? That's all.
Do you relate to that and that's why you wrote it? Or are you trying to put yourself in another person's shoes? I relate to it
and, okay, my favorite thing to do is talk about the way things are and how it sucks, but also talk about how you suck too. That poem is, people can hear that and be like, oh, you're complaining about the world. But there's a lot of moments in that where I'm talking about my flaws as a human. And both things can be true at the same time. And that is what's crazy. People can complain about systems, society, whatever. But you also better take action for the type of person you are and try to become a better person. They don't have to, they're not so opposed that they can't happen at the same time. So this is one of the great things about fitness is like, I can be like, hey, you can change your life today and you do this. It's on you. And there's also things preventing you from doing that at the same fucking time. Now, a lot of people are one or the other. And what I love to do is examine how the life is not one or the other. Life is not cut or dry. It's not black and white. It's both. And that poem, it represents, like, again, being distinctly millennial. Millennials rent more than any other generation. They, we're the first generation at 30 years old to be in a worse off place than the previous generations at 30 years old. That's a known fact now. How
do they define worse place?
Like economic freedom, the dollar moves way less. Like it's by all of like the big metrics of like economy and ability and motility as a, be able to move around and do things that our parents did, we can't do to the same extent. Not that we can't do it permanently. It's always like, here's where we're at, so get better, but where we're at sucks. And yeah, that's why I wrote that poem. I was like, Is
there a problem with because obviously you summed that whole poem up with, I'm just going to say I'm tired.
Yeah.
So all of that stuff is what's going on in our life, in our mind. But then when someone asks how we're going, we say I'm tired. Or I'm okay, or I'm fine, or whatever it might be. Do you think there's a problem in just the overarching terms we give our status in life or our state? Or do you think it's more about like we're not aware of all those things that are happening, but all those things are making us tired? Like say you look at that poem. Mm-hmm. The reason we're tired is because of all of the stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
But maybe we're not actually aware of the impact it's all doing. We're just labeling that as like our life and it's just this rabbit hole that we've gone down. And then we're not really assessing it all. We're just saying we're tired.
Yeah. Again, like people I don't know how much it helps to understand where we're at, but I'm going to point it out. That's all. Like your simplistic understanding of, hey, I'm tired, I don't feel good. Like it's because of all these things. I don't even know if that's going to help you. I'm just going to point it out. I'm just going to say it. Because that's why this poem is effective, is because I'm just saying it.
I think that's the gold with your content, though. Like we're talking about content earlier. Yeah. Like that shit there is like you're saying it, you're speaking people's mind. Like that, it's like people feel that. And they go, okay, like it's in, like you go relate, smack bang, relate. Oh shit, these are kind of problems. These are things that I've done. Mm-hmm. Perhaps it's this level of introspection to go, all right, I've just come across this video. This guy's just spoken about half of the things that I'm currently doing and I'm just avoiding. Perhaps we look at how we can take that message, assess our life and kind of do an assessment of our life and go, what are the actual things that are serving us and why are we doing all these things? Like, what is the actual main reason? Because, I mean, money's one factor. And as we spoke about at the start in terms of the different drivers as to why we're posting content or capturing moments or whatever it might be. Money's one thing. It definitely does solve a lot of problems, I would say, but perhaps the way you're making the money can result in even worse problems personally. It's like if we do some sort of money-making process and in the pursuit there's like some malicious intent, or there's something where, we've gone down this rabbit hole and it's actually got a little bit of evil in it. Perhaps at the end of the day, it's like we can have a big bank account, but the way we see ourselves and the way we view ourselves isn't very positive. I'm just fascinated by like the drivers behind why we're doing everything in life and what the actual goal is.
So for me in that, I think the biggest line is I'm a talented person, but I don't think anyone will notice. Content before craft. Don't you know this? That was the big one for me. And so this is I don't even want to call it a fight because I'm not fighting. I'm just pointing it out, right? But this is what I brought up earlier in that creative people, talented people, if they're not getting a shot because egotistical narcissist businessmen are taking all those shots away, I'm going to say something. On the other end of that, there are very, very talented and creative people who, no matter what, they need to take accountability for their own actions. The system could be holding them down, but they're holding themselves down. Those things both exist. So my favorite thing is, that guy could be so good as long as he realized his potential. That's the dumbest thing you could say, because that to me is like saying, if that guy wasn't who he was, he wouldn't be who he is. Means nothing. Because not realizing his potential is who he is. You're not just going to change the very fabric of someone who doesn't want to change their own life, who truly believes that the world is out to get them. And you do see they have incredible talents, but they just, again, the very fabric of who they are will not realize those talents that maybe you can see slightly.
But perhaps they can realize those talents. So when people say this.
And that's what I'm saying is like there might be some people preventing that. And that's where I go, hey, that's wrong. There's a spectrum here. Again, it's muddy. It's not like if I was here being like, all these bad people are not letting the true creatives and true artists shine, man. It's, I'd be wrong.
Yeah. I have an interesting thought around this because I guess it's just understanding the society that we're operating in and we're playing in, because it's all just a value exchange. It's like something's working like everything's the way it is because of the way it is. Everyone's getting paid the way they are because of the way it is. I'm truly under this notion of that, like everything's the way it is for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps the business people that have come into the creative space and that are doing very well, inevitably, because they've obviously understood the way to be able to attract more attention, maybe have more influence in what they're saying, be more seen. Those people have just played the game better. I don't know. Like I'm just kind of
yeah. Sure.
I'm just kind
but I have no issue with that.
Yeah.
It's like, so here's a great example. Music is a very interesting content form because the content itself is not good enough anymore. You can't just come out with good music. You have to come out with good content that surrounds that good music. You have 2 layers. It's 2 layers. It's fucking brutal.
That's true.
It's brutal. And so what you hear a lot is like, hey, you're a good musician. Like, what's your socials like? What's your
what you look like?
What's your content? What are your numbers? And every musician's like, fuck this. Let me just be a musician. And to a certain extent, I totally agree with that sentiment. This is stupid. That you have to do all of this stuff that isn't actually the product. Having said that, there are ways to quote unquote make content that are so fun. I just did one the other day. It's this song by Covet. I think it's It might be called Covet by this band Basement. That's what it is. And it's like, it was famous, or it's a big viral sound on Instagram. It's like, when I'm with you, I don't want to be with you. Big Phil, blah, 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 boom, bow, 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 da, ba, bow. Me and my buddy went and recorded me doing a cover of that on the guitar, singing, and playing the drums too. And that took probably a half hour of filming and, getting the mixing, and then maybe like another half hour of editing. So it was an hour. And then but while we were making it, it was fun as shit. We were recording music. We were making cool content around that music. You get to watch yourself play music. Like, it's cool. It feels good. That's content. And the crazy thing is, I would show that to a musician. I say, you got to do stuff like this. And they'd be like, oh man, I can't. And then you realize, oh, this person actually is flawed no matter what. This person's not going to realize that's potential. This is what I was getting at before, right? Is like, it's not just the way things are that are holding them down. It's themselves.
They're getting in their own way.
Yes. And that's where a creative, artistic person getting in your own way, like, I've got no sympathy for you. Go out and make shit happen. But if you are going out and trying to make shit happen, but there's some piece of shit in the way, clogging that shit up with business-minded, anti-creative stuff, then yeah, I'll have an issue with that. You see?
Yeah.
There's two ends of the spectrum there.
I have here's my thoughts on this, which is, I think, the underlying thing it comes down to. As AI automates the world, people are craving connection, human connection.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about information anymore. You can literally find anything you want, have perfect summaries by asking ChatGPT a simple question. The thing that once a creative would have to do to come up with something can be done easily. The most creative poem we can possibly write, ChatGPT can put together and have even more alliteration and more rhyming in it that sounds so cool that before that, if someone wrote it, it'd be mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It's not the thing that's profound and interesting anymore. People follow people. And so what it comes down to is the same with music. Perhaps how good your voice is isn't the only thing that we need to consider here.
No.
Is someone going to like you so that they want to listen?
It's like, when I look into your eyes, do I care?
Yes. And
that is literally, like, I'm not kidding you. That's all I care about. It's like, do I see something in your eyes?
And so it comes down to, can you make someone feel something? Does someone feel connected to you? And I think it's an important thing to note, because we can get caught up with how long we've spent doing something, and we have this attachment to the thing. We think it's valuable because we spent so long doing the thing,
right?
But perhaps it's actually not valuable. We've just spent so long on it that we've got an emotional attachment to the thing.
Bro, do you know how much more attracted we are to flaw than we are to perfection? It's exponentially.
What do you mean?
Here's a great example. Tool, you know the band Tool? Have you heard of them?
No, I haven't.
So it's a progressive metal band. I wouldn't even call it, whatever. People are going to genre argue with me, but it's a band I got into when I was 16, and then finally got to see them like 14 years later. And their whole thing is being they're like virtuosos on their instruments. And they also do very complex stuff. It's like, I don't want to call it like similar to jazz in that way, but it's like very difficult what they're doing. And they have to be syncopated and, and I heard them live. I mean, I've seen them live now twice. And when I see them mess up, I get so happy. I'm like, fuck yeah, this is sick. I don't know why.
They're human.
Yeah, sure. Could be that. It could be just like, I don't know, like the flaws magnify how great this is. You seeing how bad something can be, like seeing someone mess up makes him look good to me. And that's where it's like, I just, if you are a highlight reel, you're not acting like a human being, you are systemizing your content, I will not resonate with you, period. I will not. And people can say, they're just playing the game, bro. They're just good businessmen. They found what works and they're just pushing it. Great. Good for you. It's not for me. And I know it's not for a lot of other people. So the message I'm going to continuously tell is that.
Yeah. And I think that message will resonate with a lot of people. And I also think that if someone's amassed a following, it probably is because that they're resonating with someone that is choosing to follow them too.
Right. Do you think there's, and this is where I could be wrong about everything I've said, is that the meritocracy will not allow someone to be successful without some like legitimacy to what they're doing. So you have a creator that has systemized content. And you see a lot of the comments. I mean, there's a lot of people who have systemized content. And maybe they don't show any authenticity whatsoever. This is just the thing they do. Is it possible for them to be successful without any authenticity at all?
Well, it's defining.
And is that success legit?
Well, it's defining authenticity. A lot of these big creators don't even make their own content.
Right.
And so they're just the delivery mechanism, the person in the content, but they're not even making it.
Yeah, they're not yet.
And so like I've battled with this because I've gone, okay, now I can do this. I've got a whole B-roll folder of all my content.
Yep.
And then I can hire someone. They can then scour all the most trending captions and audios to put over that content. And I can get them to make a video every single day, and we could post that every single day, and I won't even have anything to do with making the content, and people are then going to follow and praise me for something that I didn't even do. And this is how we can go, because once you start making money, you can outsource the things like content. And
I know,
and do this. And so,
off the top of my head, I have so many there.
So many, right? And so, I guess the argument now becomes: is that authentic?
So no, but I will say this: like, again, people can see that and be like, I don't care, and that's cool if you don't. It honestly is. I do. And I'm going to say, and I'm going to reach out to the people that might care.
But I would then argue is, if you agree with the messages that are being presented and they're making content, you're giving the tick of approval, it's all good, you agree with the message.
It still hurts me. It still hurts.
That's fair. It does
hurts.
strip away creativity.
It's like, I just want a connection to another human being. And like, I know that might sound, like, if somebody's going to speak about something they believe and talk, I want to feel that they're actually there. And like, when they're not actually there, it hurts. And that's it. It's as simple as that.
I get that.
That's all I ask for me personally. So like, even if the message is good, and even if, I still am like, I would love for you to be an actual human being. Because again, going back to, you're like, oh, I'd love for you to have a conversation with this person. I would too, but inherently they won't. That's not what they do. That's not what these people do. They don't do conversations because they don't need to. It's a system that they've ripped away the personality, the life force of all of this, and systematically made it into a business. Yeah. And that's all. That's,
I speaking about this, I am in agreement with the lack of potential authenticity that comes with that. I'm very aware of that. What I'm weighing up in my mind right now is it a net negative or is it a positive? And I'm thinking the people they're attracting are probably people doom scrolling on their phone.
Yeah.
Is the message that they're providing then the money that they're then transacting off the back of this funnel, is it going to end up in the person that's discovering this content that may not be authentic? Are they going to be able to better their lives from doing so?
I don't want to bastardize what Chris has said to me because I don't fully remember it, but he's basically, you can't change culture.
Yeah.
So even though I'm doing this, it's fruitless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're right. If I'm doom scrolling and like I see a piece of content that I like and it's some guy who's not being authentic.
But it can still better your life.
Yeah, sure, maybe not. It's fucking Instagram. Is it really going to better my life or not? Like, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But this idea that I can come in and be the white knight and change it and virtue signal and be like, That's also bullshit. I'm pretty well aware of that.
Yeah.
And like that, it's like this constant uphill battle of let me really open, like, let me wake you up.
Yeah.
It's like we're all on our phones like this, dude. Like I'm not sure I want to be woken up, dude. Fuck off. I'm just, it's that's another part of like that poem, Commence the 12-inch stare. If I've decided to do that, there's really not much you can do to stop me. I'm sorry.
I'm doing it.
And this phone is much more powerful than you are.
Yeah.
So at least when I make people examine this thing, like, at least I just want to show people where they're at. Like, one of my things that I do want to get into is waiting in line. I think there's a crazy psychology to this. When you determine you are going to wait in line or not, what actual value determination are you making? And that's a wild one to dive into, because you're like, okay, well, it's 45 minutes. How valuable is the thing that we're going in and getting? Is it worth 45 minutes of time? Is it worth the ego hit of me just being a pleb that waits in line? And am I the type of person who waits in line? How long is the line? Like, so there's a lot of these restaurant openings, opening day, they'll have like a free thing and certain things like that. There's one in town. It's called La La Land. I've never heard of it before, but it's like a trendy new
in LA. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one from Santa Monica. Are you talking about the one that opened on South Congress?
Yeah. 5-hour wait.
No, it wasn't.
5-hour line.
Are you serious?
5 hours on July 4th. The line I have a video of it.
What, all the way down South Congress?
All the way down Congress. 5 hours. And my thing is like, okay, what is that? Because that is interesting. That is very interesting. And the number one thing people are going to say back is they're not hurting anyone. I don't care if they're not hurting anyone.
What are they doing in the line?
Yeah,
man?
what is this? And again, this is like, I just want to say, like, where are we at? Like, here's where we're at. Is this normal? What do you think about this? What does the world think about this? Because I can't change culture, like I said before, but I can point out the fact that a 5-hour wait to get into an opening of a restaurant is kind of wild.
I think they just sell coffees there.
Coffees, teas, whatever. And this is a common occurrence. It's there's some doll. I forget the name of it. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like a viral doll. Can I look it up?
Yeah, look it up.
Okay. Viral doll.
I'm fascinated by the psychology behind this too. What is the reason?
Okay, Labubu.
What is
Labubu. It's just it's a doll, and it's like a viral thing, and they create this extreme rarity of it, and then they open up pop-up shops or something, and people will like run each other over in their cars to get there. They'll like fist fight for it. They'll wait in lines for days to get it. Like that is that not interesting to think about why someone would do that?
So, okay, there's a few reasons why they would do it, but perhaps one of the big ones is to be able to say that I've done it.
Sure.
Which is the most ridiculous thing in
It's
itself.
like, hey, look, I did this thing. I have this thing that you don't. Sure, there's the status of that. But I also think, bro, I know what I'm doing for the next 5 hours. That's what they say.
What?
I've committed to something. I'm in this line. I know I'm going to be here. Like, deep down, I think there's that.
That seems ridiculous. Surely if you knew that.
Okay, but just existing in the world causes, like, panic. What am I going to do? What am I going to do today? It's like, well, I know now, on July 4th, I've been thinking about La La Land for a while. I'm getting in line. And I know I'm going to be there. And that's cool with me. You know? Like, it has to be a factor. How is this wild? Not a wild thing to think about. Like, I truly think there's a lot of people who are very, very frightened of, like, I don't want to say freedom, but maybe freedom. Like, this is why people buy super expensive. They want to be told where to go, what to do, how to do it. And my thing is that want right there can be taken advantage of so much, and it is being taken advantage of constantly. And all I'm here to do is be like, hey, there's a better option. There's a better option. There's one that's more empowering. The guy who's selling you $1,000 a month coaching, it's not worth $1,000. It could be. It very well could be. The price is, it's likely not.
It's just worth, it's like you want the outcome, you want to pay the thing. I think that
the answer is not passivity is my thing.
What do you mean?
Like passivity, pacifism.
Yeah. Well, you
right. I'm not like the answer is not do it for me. The answer is like what is an effective? How can I see results very fast that aren't quite the actual results?
Well, if we actually strip it back, what it is, and this would be an ethical way to market something like this, like a real ethical way. You can find the information on ChatGPT. However, you've been following my content. You love what I'm doing. I'm going to guide you through this information. Now, a little bit of nuance and some things that have worked for me. But basically, the only reason you're transacting is because you like me and you believe that I can help you and hold you accountable. And by transacting, I am now committing to making this change and making the steps. The actions don't change.
But what happens if you're the lie? What happens if you're not you?
What do you mean?
You're portraying the highlight reel. If all the information you're giving me, I can get on ChatGPT, but the reason I'm going with you is because I like you. But the person I like is not actually you. It's some social media version of you, some fucking highlight reel version.
Maybe that's not a problem. Maybe the consumer needs a highlight reel to take action. And then perhaps it's actually not even about the destination. It's about fucking starting the journey.
Yeah.
Like it's actually about taking a step to change. Maybe you're in this shithole of a doom-scrolling nature and someone may well be promoting a highlight reel. It may not be their life, but by you being attracted to that highlight reel, you've actually decided to better your life. And then you get 12 months down the line and you're like, look, I'm not driving Ferraris. I'm not fucking having only sunny days, but I'm in a way better spot for that.
Yeah, you know what I love? I call it the content circle. I'll see someone, I'll get incredibly inspired by them. I will actually say that they changed my life. And then I'll keep going with them, and I'll be like, I wonder if I can kind of do this by myself. I'll become like less, like I'll praise them less. They'll take up less space in my mind. And then I'll realize, yeah, I was just a beginner. Maybe they weren't that great. Then I might even be like, yes, kind of screw these guys. And then all of a sudden I'll get back and be like really appreciative of what they did. You know what I mean? And like I've done this with people in person.
Yep. And so here's the thing. The people that say we're maybe judging that are the people selling someone $1,000 a month coaching, they might be helping people that were like you when you didn't know what you were doing. And now that you're not as naive, you know what they're doing.
The harsh thing about all this is like, if this dude just talked to me or whomever, whatever.
This is an interesting topic though.
Like, I would just be like, yeah, dude, you're a nice guy. Like I'm not, I hope on this podcast, I don't come across as somebody who's just like, fuck them, you know.
No, I don't. I
think there are ideas that I want to take a stance against, but dude, I would shake hands with a lot of people that like, if they just came clean and they were a human being to me, like I can't defend myself against that. I have such a weakness for that.
Yeah.
Swear to God, if anyone, if they're just like, hey, I'm a human being, like, do you want to chill? Go get a coffee, play some video games, have a beer. Like I'd be like, yeah, you're cool by me, bro.
And I think this is what most people are, right? People follow people. I literally had a whole media scandal thing come out. This guy, before it all blew out, he was like saying how much I helped him. I was the reason he booked his flight to America from Australia for the first time. He'd been wanting to do it for years and he never had the courage to do it. And he heard my story and he was like, yeah, I did it. And then he ended up doing it. Now he's met his like partner he's about to marry, the whole thing. But this media thing went down and he sent me this massive message saying he doesn't agree with how I handled it all or whatever he said. And I asked him why and he never responded and then he unfollowed and went on his way. I met him the other day and he got to know me. And now he's full back around of like, Like,
bro, that's the thing. Like everything I just taught. This is why, like, I don't. When you're like, tell me why do you feel this way? I'm like, dude, I have the biggest fucking bias for my own self. Like, I'll just.
People just want to be. People want to. If they can
want
feel
the
you and
binary.
feel connected. And this is the whole thing around this is the thing with social media is what it can do is. We can make perceptions of who someone is based on what we've seen, but because we haven't seen very much, we have a negative judgment on them. But then once we know someone, and the example is this is why first impressions are so massive, right? You may not know this person, and you meet someone you meet me for the first time, and I'm in a shit mood. I've had a horrible day, and I kind of was a bit blunt to you. Then you leave, and then you go and speak to your friends, one of your best mates or someone, right? And then my name gets brought up and they go, what are your thoughts on him? You'd be like, oh, he was a bit standoffish. He was a bit of a dick, right? But if you knew me and you had seen me 1,000 times and then on that day you saw me and it was, I was in a shit mood and then you left and your friend was like, oh, what are your thoughts on Chris? Because you've known me over 1,000 different times, you'd be like, oh, he's actually a legend, really good guy.
Yeah.
But the thing is with social media is we don't have all those touch points. So we see one thing that we go, oh, he's not that good. And then that then becomes our definition of that person. And then it takes you meeting them to then go, oh, he's actually a fucking good guy.
But you know, the crazy thing is like, at least now they're thinking about you. Your name is in their mouth. And that's ultimately like, you can judge me based off this 90-second clip, you know, that I'm sure you're going to be posting. And if one of these clips went big and they just are like, fuck this bald guy, you know?
You're like, well, you didn't see me when I had hair, bitch.
Yeah. But I'd be like, you know, you didn't know who I was before this, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe you go and hate scroll me and you're like, you know what? I actually like this guy.
Yeah.
And I think I want to, I need to stop disagreeing with people and disagreeing with ideas.
Why?
Because people are too complex and even ideas are too complex, but people are too complex. Like I could disagree with someone and just not hate them.
Yeah.
You know? Like that's ultimately the best thing you can do is just be like, yeah, it's fine, dude. We disagree on it, whatever. And like we probably agree on, you know, it's.
I think the reality is that if someone's saying something, it's probably because they believe it. And so that actually is their reality. And the reason they've said it on the basis that they're not just lying or having malicious intent, the reason they've said it for the most part is because that's their thoughts and that's what they believe in. And so their life has made them form this opinion on something in that way. And then the reality and what proves to this is when you post that 90-second clip of someone saying something that they believe in, and it gets 1 million views, you know what it also gets? 1 million different interpretations of the 90 seconds that only had one intention behind it.
Do you ever feel bad about like being a creator because inherently we just talk too much?
I don't think we talk too much.
I think we do.
Well, I think it's up to the consumer to take ownership and take the things that serve them and onboard it and better their life and disregard the things that don't.
Good point.
And then
very good point.
Don't let them affect their life.
Yeah.
Because
but like, don't you think that there's like, I'm saying just from our like, don't forget about like how the consumer consumes.
Yeah.
Just being a human being that just talks a lot it has to be somewhat harmful. You know, like the quietest man in the room when he finally speaks.
Yeah.
You know, everyone looks. I think we can't ever be that.
Well, I think we may talk a lot publicly comparatively to like my Instagram bio says thinking deeply occasionally out loud. And for me, the reason I write that is because I think deeply a lot. I'm very introspective. Yeah. I always look within.
But yesterday you and I hardly got a workout in because we just basically had a podcast at the gym because we were given the opportunity to. I think it's just the type of people we are. We just love to talk about shit.
Curious, fascinated.
I just also love to like be like, hey, I think I'm fucked up. I think I'm doing shit wrong. I love doing that because again, it's cathartic. It might be a certain flaw. But I do, it's a nice little exercise to be like, I saw some video and this person was like, apparently I was, staying to yourself is wrong now. Like, people are going to criticize you for not talking. And then someone was commented as like, this is a very Eastern Bloc way of thinking. My parents are Ukrainian. And they said, it's basically like, if something good happens, don't talk. And if something bad happens, don't talk. It's like because you don't want somebody to take advantage of you ever. Sure, it's not a great way to live, but there's a certain part, like that's too extreme. But there's a certain part of it, like if things are going well, what happens if you don't tell people? If things are going poorly, what happens if you don't tell people? Just for a moment.
This comes down to this. It's very hard to apply that when you're playing in a game where social media and social status plays a role in the progression of your career, whatever it is. But this does have an interesting thing we spoke about at the gym today about people liking you just for what you do, not for who you are. You know how we were saying about people, how people can be liked by everyone, but only because of what they do. And then if that was stripped away, who would be around and who would actually be there for you? And that's an interesting thing because perhaps all of this social media and all of this social status that plays such a big role in the society that we operate in, perhaps this is such an interesting thing. It strips away people for liking you for you and more so liking you for what you can do for them.
This is where like a guy like Hormozy is just going to say, fuck those people.
What do you mean?
The people that like you for who you are doesn't matter. The masses it's what you do, and the reason why they follow you is not for who you are, it's for what you do. Sorry, if he's going to optimize for this massive group of people, I'm talking massive group of people that saw a clip of him saying exactly what they wanted to hear. He's not going to optimize for the smaller group of people, much smaller group of people, you could argue, that like him for who he is, whatever that means.
Well, he doesn't show really who he is as much.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not.
But perhaps
it's not going to help him win in business.
Again, he's the business guy, and his Instagram is the marketing funnel, and that's how he can
win in business, not in personal. And
perhaps he doesn't need a big circle of people though.
He's very interpersonal though, like the way that he speaks, like it is very good. He's very, very good. He doesn't really get himself into logical traps. I've studied a lot of his stuff just because I'm interested, and there's a decent chunk of things that I disagree with what he says, like patently disagree.
Yeah.
But this would be my one example of somebody that optimizes for that massive cohort of people that care about what you do, not who you are.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to talk about criticism as well. I think this is an interesting topic. So you said criticism isn't the problem. The awareness to criticism is. Criticism isn't the problem. Being aware of the criticism
Yeah.
is.
Well, I mean, what we have offered people is a constant stream of being able to give criticism with almost no recourse. I can criticize, like I can open up a fake Instagram and I can write some nasty comment and criticize. And I can do that on everything. It's free. And if I do it well enough, I'll get rewarded for it with likes. That in the human world has never existed before. My father's a writer. And if you wanted to criticize him, you had to write a letter to the editor and you had to be ready for your thing to be posted up on the newspaper for everyone to see. That takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of work. You have to reconsider what you're about to write over and over again. You have to write it. You have to send it. You have to literally mail it to the editor and maybe he'll put it up. So it's the awareness of the criticism is a second step. It's a follow-up step to criticism being available for everyone, a tool that everyone can have when they don't need it.
Yeah.
Trust me, they don't need it.
Yep.
That is a net negative. This is what I'm saying.
Yep. And they are only willing to give the criticism, not take it.
Of course. And
Hence
if you
why
do,
the account's private with no photo or
Yes.
anything like this.
yes.
So give the criticism, but I'm not going to take I'm fully closed-minded to anything anyone else is going to say. It's not constructive conversation.
Yeah, the reason I brought up this in the first place is like, I think that when you look at the way Gen Z interacts with the world, it's very hesitant in real life. It's very hesitant. It's very scared because they're conditioned to understand that everything is criticism. Everything will be criticized.
So they shield themselves from the criticism.
Yes, and it transfers into real world as well.
It really does.
Yeah, so that was my thesis on this whole thing. And the idea that awareness of criticism, I don't even know if that's the correct way of putting it, but yeah, I mean, in the real world, people are going to go and walk around and be like, am I going to get criticized for this? Because if I do this in the fake world on Instagram or whatever, I know I will. I'm aware of the criticism now. And that's going to affect the way people interact all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really what I meant by that.
Yeah, for sure. I think that there's just this level of people are willing to give it when there's no repercussions, but in person there is always opportunity for repercussions, so that they'll just shield themselves from saying anything. And perhaps honestly a negative part about that as well is when you shield what you're feeling and thinking, aka criticizing someone or giving someone some feedback, you then kind of bottle that up and it stores as like resentment to those people too. You're never having any, like, you're never coming to terms or like agreeing or disagreeing or being open about your things. So I think
There's
it can
also
create a divide.
Something that people don't talk about is like, okay, if I have an effective piece of content, meaning the algorithm boosted it, a lot of people agree with it, a lot of people are saying yes. This person that disagrees with me feels like they need to come at me with vitriol because I have so much momentum.
Mm.
And it doesn't have to just be me. It could be anyone, right? But this content has momentum now. So the way that they comment is not, hey, there are certain parts of this that I agree with. I disagree with most of it. And let me explain why. No hard feelings, blah, blah, blah. No. They're going to be like, this guy's an idiot because of this, because that's the only way that they can match the intensity or the wave of momentum that's coming at them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's this there's like this power imbalance from commentary. And I saw this the other day, like my friend made a funny reel. It was just funny and it was fake. And it went viral. He's a comedian. And there's just a comment being like, just nasty coming back at him. Like, oh my God, why? Were you offended? No, you feel as though you can't bring this person down because they have so much momentum. So naturally, the only way to come at them is with vitriol.
Yeah.
That needs to be talked about. I don't think many people talk about that. It's not just comments, criticize. It's not just criticism. It's criticism with a little bit of a on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even think it's criticism. It's just hate. It's just mob think, group think. Sure. Like, let's just attack this person because we hate our life. In a sense, we could talk about this for years. We got to wrap it up. Dude, I want to commend you. You're dope. It's been great to connect. And yeah, where can people find you?
Instagram, Zack Telander, YouTube, Zack Telander, Spotify, biggest one. And you can
listen to the tunes.
Yeah, listen to the tunes. Yeah. I got a new song coming out on the 25th.
25th.
Yes.
Cool.
So will this be out by then?
It will be. It will be. So I'm going to leave all of the Spotify and all your details in the show notes description below. But dude, I just think I want to commend people that actually share their thoughts. Like, think about the amount of people that would think very similar to you, but would just never say anything. And what that does, I can't
even perceive that, you know?
But this is most.
They have to tell me that.
This is most people, though.
Yeah.
Like whether you have a agreeing opinion with you, disagreeing opinion with what you're saying, it doesn't even fucking matter. It's the fact that you have an opinion, because what comes with that is you're inviting the criticism in, and your willingness to do that is very respectable. I think.
Wow.
I think
crazy. Yeah.
No, dude.
I've never thought of it like that. Never.
I think a massive problem is people don't share what's on their mind, and the reason I think that is a problem is because there's so many, and this is why people that share their opinion go so fucking viral, because everyone thinks it, but they're not willing and they don't have the courage enough to say it. Because what happens is all the criticism comes flowing in, and the more truthful you are with your thoughts, the more criticism is going to come in, because it's probably, a lot of us are really polarizing when what we actually think about is quite polarizing.
Yeah.
And it's like that thing around like the best jokes have truth in them.
Yes.
It's because people think them, right?
Yep.
But they don't want to say them. And so we give praise to people that say things, because that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And so I want to commend you for that. It's really fucking cool.
And
I'm going to leave all of Zack's details in the show notes description below. If you guys have made it to the end, screenshot this and tag us on your Instagram stories just so we can thank you that you made it to the end and you're not sick of our voices yet. Hopefully you had a good time listening to this. I thought it was great. All things content, all things charlatanism, even though we didn't dive deep into that too much.
Not enough.
But that'll be enough for round 2. So we're signing out for this week, and I'll see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.